Hey everybody, it's Pete Carmasino here at Chaikin Analytics. I'm the Chief Market Strategist, and this is the Chaikin Power Feed video series. Each and every week, we kind of go over an article that we posted and kind of bring it to life here on the video, talk about what's happening inside the article and about the stock or the sector, sometimes both. And today, we're going to focus on Apple. That article came out yesterday, and it's really about Apple's market share, not here in the United States. They're dominant here, but overseas, specifically in China. So this past week, Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, made sure that he was in that country while it opened its second largest store in China. Now, think about this for a second. They've got 57 stores over there already. China's pretty big, obviously. 57 stores is a lot, but they are losing ground to a company that's hard to pronounce. It's spelled Huawei, but it's pronounced Huawei. And Huawei has really basically surpassed Apple in China's market share. As a matter of fact, this year, China is down about 24%. And that's just in the first 6 weeks. So look, there's a lot of things going on with Apple. It's been underperforming. It's been part of the Mag 7. And because it's dropped lower in our rating and even on the relative strength technical indicator, it's really falling out of favor inside of that group and in general. So, it's a big cap stock. It's also a large weight in the NASDAQ 100 and even in the S&P. So it is a critical name, I think, for the indexes. But in general, the fact that Tim Cook is over there in China worried about market share, it's pretty interesting. Probably never had to do that. Or if they did, it's been a really long time since they had to worry about market share because they are the dominant player in our market, obviously. And you think about it, they have an incredible 62% share of the entire market. And while Samsung only has about 17% market share. So read the article, learn a little bit more about those numbers specifically. However, let's look at this chart right now. We're going to look at the chart, look at the trend, and then I'm going to open the Power Gauge report and kind of look at sales and earnings per share and see what's going on there in the last couple of years. All right, let's dive in right now. Okay, here we are on the Chaikin charting system and kind of looking at Apple. I got it in the list of the Mag 7 that I have now named the Fab Five, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But these are the 7 names that have obviously been powering a lot of the market in the past year or so. And the 2 that are falling off are Tesla is bearish and Apple is neutral, right? So 2 of the 7 are gone, so there's only 5 left that are now bullish. There was 4, but Google made a comeback. Now, Apple is breaking down, and you're looking here, and this is interesting, folks. I don't want to get into too deep of a technical analysis kind of ideas here or trends, but when you see a stock having trouble breaking new highs and then start to break down and produce lower lows from their recent area, especially here, which I would think this is going to be support at 165 for sure, and you start to see our indicators break down like the relative strength and even money flow, I'm telling you, you've got a weak trend, and there it is identified up top. Now, we were talking about Apple's market share. And, obviously, our market here in the U.S. really suffers from a lack of competition. In the article, we talk about it's basically, practically an oligopoly. Now, when you start to look at what's going on overseas, specifically in China, you're starting to see that, again, Huawei is actually taking some market share, a lot of market share from Apple. But in general, the stock really hasn't missed earnings, right? It's done incredibly well over the year. If I look at 5 years, I see 1 or 2 earnings misses and a couple of matches. You see it's grade like that. It means it met estimates. But we've got something here. It's a secret tab I've never shown. I'm going to do it right now. My editors are going to be mad at me, but I'm going to do it anyway. So here it is, the Chaikin Power Gauge report. I'm just going to go to one specific part of this, and that's the 5-year revenue and earnings growth area, right? When you look at revenue and earnings per share and things of that nature, you're seeing some big jumps here, right? From 21 to 22, they had a nice move. Obviously, from 20 to 21, they had a nice move, obviously, from a sales perspective. Look, we were in lockdowns. Things were getting, a little hectic. People had some more money in their pocket, and so they bought some iPhones, right? So, okay, that's great. But look at the jump in earnings per share, right? You saw a 72% increase between 326 to 562. And then that kind of slowed down the following year. But look here in 23 to 22, you see a slowdown in sales. I haven't seen that in a long time. Obviously, it happened here in 2019, but there were some different metrics here. Here, we're starting to see a stock that's earning, in the $6 per share range. And how are they doing that? How do they jump from 3 to 6, but yet haven't doubled sales, right? They unable to do it. As a matter of fact, sales have gone down and earnings have stayed flat. I'll tell you how. They lowered the amount of shares outstanding. When you do earnings per share, it's a ratio. So if you have less shares, your earnings automatically go up. That's simple algebra and easy math. So that's what's going on with Apple from an earnings standpoint. But more importantly, what we focus on is the power gauge is already neutral, and it's really been predominantly neutral, back and forth bullish activity and neutral activity. But for the better part of this year, what we have seen is really a breakdown in the chart and relative strength showing just some negative trends that really do not seem to be turning around anytime soon. All right, folks, so there you have it. We were learning a little bit about Apple, what's going on in China. Go back and read that article that we posted here on the Chicken Power Feed blog. This is the video series. We want to bring those articles to life a little bit. I hope you enjoyed the Apple video here, talking about not only trends, but looking at trends in sales and even earnings per share. A lot of the things aren't adding up, but what we are seeing is the trend is negative for now. All right, I'll be back next week with another video series here on the Chicken Power Feed. We'll talk to you real soon. Have a wonderful holiday and take care, everybody. We'll see you next week.